That me much. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot in there left from this morning. 10-2. 10-2. I can't count those on both hands. And well, I could use my toes, I suppose. We haven't had a 10-win season since when? 2007. That is pretty special. I love my volunteers. Romander, how are you, sir? Thank you for popping in. And for those of you who are new to the channel, please say hi. Please say hi when you come in and where you participating from and your name and whatever you'd like to say about our 10-2 volunteers. Kind of emphatic win last night. Sure about my framing here. Kind of an emphatic win last night. Holy crackers. Kirk Herbstreit just must be beside himself with how accurate he is on his football prognosticating. Not. Remember, he did the whole chomp thing, right? Little bitty baby chomp. Tennessee played Florida. And then what else did he do? LSU. He picked the LSU Tigers. And then he evidently became born again and loved Tennessee. And like several of us, decided that he was going to pick Georgia. That didn't work out very well for any of us that picked Georgia. And then, of course, Vanderbilt is a surging new team. I mean, they are just the new Boise State. They're just surging. They're just winning games, and they beat Kentucky and they beat Florida, and they're just awesome, and they will beat Vanderbilt. I mean, they will beat Tennessee. He seems like a likable guy, Herbstreit, but it just seems to me that somebody that's been around football as long as he has should have a better sense and command of prognostication. And like prognostication is a thing where if you don't really know, you just need to back off and not have one, not have a take, right? That's what I learn. Every day I look at a game, I really got to feel it, and the evidence really has to be there, or I'll pass. Romander says, very proud of Coach Hype and the team. They made an amazing turnaround in 2 years. They did. Indeed, they did. And it's been notable to watch the media turn on them. They were the entire story for 9 weeks of this football season. The entire and total story. Even after they lost to Georgia. And then they came back and they crushed Missouri. And then they go to South Carolina under unusual circumstances. And man, they just pretending like the Tennessee Volunteers and Coach Heupel have like testicular cancer. They don't. Ramander, I watched Coach Lee's presser after the loss. He pointed out failures to execute and lost opportunities, but he didn't really take any blame himself. Much different from Heupel after the South Carolina loss. Exactly. Exactly that. I agree. Frank Rizzo, thank you for showing up again, my brother. Appreciate you. How about them Gamecocks? Was in Nashville for Thanksgiving, and everyone in Nashville isn't from Tennessee. No, they're not. They're coming from all over. Damn it. Only a few people said something about my Gamecock hat and shirt. Vol fans are pretty cool. You know? Hey, we'll admit when we get beat. We won't make excuses. We will recognize from time to time when there's something aberrant going on, or, I think South Carolina was fortunate in that we had some locker room drama literally minutes before they got on the plane and engaged in that weekend. I'm not saying it would have changed the outcome, but I am saying it would have been a different game. Ramander, I was pulling for South Carolina against Clemson. Great wins. Beamer is a keeper. Well, he is a keeper. He obviously knows what the hell he's doing in a big way. Just making some notes here. So, what about the AP poll? I didn't have a chance to see the coaches poll yet because I've been busy making content all day long. But the AP poll has Tennessee at 7. So I was happy to see that they did the right thing. They flushed Clemson. They flushed LSU. However, Alabama is still ahead of them in 6. And Southern Cal is 5. All I ask for, excuse me while I move my camera around a little bit, all I ask for is just a little fairness, what makes sense, what's logical. Coaches had Tennessee at 8 behind Penn State. Behind Penn State? Jeez. Frank Rizzo, you have a great channel. Just subscribe. Frank, thank you for the subscription. Would rather lose to Tennessee every year than lose to Clemson. I understand that. That's kind of the way I feel about Alabama. I would rather lose to South Carolina every year rather than Alabama. So we got half our dream this year. So AP has them at 7 and coaches at 8. It's just stupid, right? I mean, it really is just stupid, particularly because coaches know that whole locker room thing can flare up in like a heartbeat, and damage can be done to a game or a few games or even a few seasons or a season, right? So that's sad. So any idea? So I would imagine that the college football playoff poll, that's really the only one that matters, will have them at 7 or 8. Would everybody agree with that? Or anybody have a different take on that? Which means that the 4 go to the playoffs, and then we have 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, we have down through 10 for the New Year's 6, plus a couple. But my understanding is that the Sugar Bowl is on New Year's Eve, right? This year? Is it always on New Year's Eve? I think maybe it might be. So anyway, we're going to have a very high profile bowl game. Today, the projection that I saw was Tennessee and Texas in the Sugar Bowl. That's what I saw today. Now, that's just a projection. Rumor has it you guys will be in the Orange Bowl versus Clemson. Ooh, I like that. Maybe both teams can wear their orange helmets. But if we play Texas, really? We'll kill Texas. I would think. I would think so. Based on what I've seen, Remander, I think the AP has it right as much as I think Tennessee should be ahead of Alabama. Yeah, Tennessee should be ahead of Alabama. I mean, why do they even record the records if they're not going to use them for placement? Right? I mean, Tennessee deserves that 6th spot more than Alabama does because they got beat by Tennessee. That's my thinking anyway. By the way, if you have not subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it if you would. I'm getting very close to the 1,000 subscriber mark, and that's a big deal for YouTubers. It allows us the opportunity to start making a check. And as I have decided that this is going to be my future, a check would be good. Even a small one. Okay. I put out a video today about Nico Iamalevea. He's allegedly the $8 million kid coming from California to be in Josh Heupel's offense. Now, I've been wanting to talk about this forever. And because my channel got a late start in the season due to a health issue I had, I wasn't able to talk about it. And then it wasn't appropriate to talk about it during the season because Hendon Hooker was doing so well. Tennessee was doing so well. I didn't want to start putting energy out there focusing on next year. But now that the season's coming to a close and the regular season is now closed, we can talk about Nico Iamalevea. If you haven't seen the little video piece that I put out on him earlier, it's the latest one on my channel. Go look at it. It's pretty amazing. I will be posting tomorrow, maybe the next day, some more content about him. But I truly think that he is the future of Tennessee football. Now, somebody left a very astute comment on that particular video today and it said, if I can recall, I'll paraphrase, I hope he doesn't turn out to be Shroud. And you're right. Shroud came in here as a huge, as you know, a lot of expectations and a lot of hopes and whatever. However, in honesty, I don't think Shroud had the cachet that Nico or Arch Manning has. And Heupel was very smart because he knew just from the get-go with his associations with Peyton Manning and the Manning family that Arch was not going to come to Tennessee. And what he did was he didn't even, from my understanding, he didn't even throw his line in the water. He went directly after the number 2 guy, Nico. So I thought that was very smart because he's been, you know, he got him to campus last year outside of football season. And I don't know whether you remember this or not, but during the basketball game one weekend where Nico and his whole family, He has 7 brothers and sisters. They were all there. And the whole gym at Tennessee during that basketball was going, Nico, Nico, and just killing it. And that was about the time that Nico said, I'm coming here. Yes, I am. Reminder, Nico's highlights are amazing. I haven't seen your vid yet, but what I have seen makes me very excited. Yeah, go have a look at that video. He not only he looks like he's a terrific player, but he just seems like he's older and wiser before his years, right? And that's very, very good. So anybody else have any other thoughts on Nico? It's pretty exciting. And like I said, I didn't want to talk about it because Hooker, Hendo, I keep calling him Hendo because that's his handle, his Twitter handle, Hendo Cinco, or it used to be one of his handles. And I keep calling him Hendo, and I can't get that out of my mind. Because I was a huge fan. I didn't want to do anything that would distract from number 5. And I don't want to do anything to distract from number 7 either, because I don't think Nico will start as a freshman. I just think there's too much to learn, right? And then we got that other kid, Tavian Jackson, who is really, really good. He's kind of a baby Nico. He was where Nico was a year ago coming out of high school. I mean, he had all these accolades. He was, the number 1 player in Indiana for like ever. State titles out the wazoo. He's really good, and I love to watch him throw the football. His presence is really good, and I just gave myself another idea. What I'm going to do is do Joe Milton, Nico, and Tavian, and I'm going to put all 3 of their highlights together so we can get a real good look at those things. But it's Joe Milton's job, right? And I'm not suggesting at all that he should lose it. But there's a lot of cachet and a lot of hype coming in with Nico. Reminder, what do you think our receiver core looks like next year? Tillman will be gone. Will Hyatt stay? I get the feeling that Hyatt will go. I don't think he'll stay. And I haven't researched it enough to know what that situation is going to be. Tomorrow starts recruiting from tomorrow to the 17th of December, I believe. So I would imagine they're going to be looking for cornerbacks and safeties and wide receivers. That would be my guess. Danny, good to see you, Danny. Thank you for coming in. Hendo will be okay on dry days. I don't know that I know what that means. Danny, what do you mean he'll be okay on dry days? What does that mean? Now, I was very surprised to see him on the sideline last night, right? I got to do a little better job of my homework with him because I keep searching every day to find out if he's, had the surgery or not to repair his ACL. And I haven't seen anything, and I just figured he was laid up somewhere. But man, he's traveling with the team, and he's there walking around on the sideline, giving them love and coaching them up. It was impressive. I'm going, well, Hendon, if you're not laying down somewhere being treated, get your helmet. Get out there and throw me a touchdown. What do we think about Milton? I thought he did a pretty good job. He threw some really good intermediate passes, I thought, when it was important. Threw one long pass that was amazing to see that he does that. But there were several misses, and that'll be a point of concern for next year, I think. And that's one thing that I recognized on the Nico tape. Now he didn't miss a lot deep, and he is a vertical passer. I mean, he throws the ball down the field. I mean, it's not a lot of little, dink passes off on the side. But Nico, man, he chunks it down the field. And I didn't see him throw one overthrow. Now, granted, it's his highlight reel. They're not going to put an overthrow on there. But there were so many that weren't overthrows, that were way down the field. Boom, catching them in stride. It's pretty impressive, that guy. Running back stable will be solid. Yes, sir. Agree on DBs and wide receivers. Also not sure what Hyatt has left to prove. Yeah, you might be right. I mean, yeah. And his association is with Hooker and Milton, and more so with Hooker. So I would imagine that he'd be gone. He won't be coming back, I don't think. However, another year, right? You run the risk of getting hurt, or you run the risk of raising your draft stock. Let's see. Milton needs work on timing with his receivers and control. His arm talent is amazing, though. Certainly is. But that's been the story on him for 5 years, though, Romander. Do you know? That's been the story. And he hadn't totally fixed it yet. He's certainly improved. Ed is for UT. Thanks, Ed, for popping in. Appreciate you. Milton does not throw with finesse. 100% correct. 100% correct. He does not. Let me see what else I got here on my notes. Oh, what about LSU? LSU, they're going to be playing for the SEC championship. How many losses? They almost have this many losses. Well, I'll take 2 away. They have that many losses, and they're playing for the championship. And I heard folks talking on television about somebody in here, I think it was Romander maybe, that was talking about there's not going to be an East and West division in 25 when Oklahoma and Texas get in the SEC. It's just the best 2 teams. I like that idea. We have been the beneficiary, and not in a good way, of having to compete with Georgia and Florida as long as I have been alive, and that's a long time, right? And the SEC East has been, in my lifetime, the toughest football division in the toughest conference in the country. So I'm happy to see that go, right? Danny Pritchard, sorry, I got kicked off before the rain. And when Milton was spot on. Yes, he was. He was good. I thought he did well. And to his overthrows, now he didn't miss them as badly as he missed them the first time around, right? It wasn't quite as that bad, but he did have rain to deal with, and he did have not a fast track, a slippery track. So all in all, I was pleased with him. He did not make any mistakes in those conditions, which I think is way to his credit. Romander, what is the Big 12 even going to be after they They'll be the big poop burger, is what they'll be. They may need to merge with another conference. You might be right. You might be correct, sir. Mhm. Let me just check over here just real quick and see if there are any comments that I need to address while we're here. I have an itchy nose. Typically, when I get an itchy nose, I start to sneeze. All right. Here's some good stuff here. Wes Marshall, nice video. Thanks, and keep them coming if you can. How about a video on Cam Selden, who's coming with the 23 class? He may end up being one of the best players in the class. I will do that, sir. I will track that down. Thank you for the suggestion. TK81, love the recruiting videos. Keep up the good work, GBO. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Danny Pritchard, checking out Sheldon is a good idea. We have a lot of elite people coming into the 23 class. Yeah. George Winters, God bless you. Michael Higdon, I hope he doesn't turn out to be another Stroud. That's a legit comment, man. That's a legit comment. And Michael D., you ready for this? Nico will beat out Milton. Really? Well, Heupel is a pretty loyal guy, right? We know that now, right? And so he's going to if he does beat out Milton, not only is he going to have to beat out Milton, he's also going to have to beat out Tavian Jackson. So it will be interesting. And I just hope that they don't mess up the stadium again so that they can't be a spring game. I miss that spring game. I tell you, from that Purdue game to that first game in August or September 1st, whenever it was, man, that was rough. I did not like that time frame there. We are getting just subscribers out like the wazoo, man. I thank you so much. We are 96 away from the 1,000 mark. We are 904. Man, that is amazing. Thank you so much. Makes me want to work harder. And I'm working my ass off as it is. I try to put a little bit more production value in it. You know, I'm a one-man shop. Eventually, I will bring on people. Entertainment value is supreme, and I value it a lot. Danny Pritchard, sorry, correct. Mm-hmm. Danny Pritchard, yes, he did turn it over. He turned it over? Milton turned it over last night? I don't remember that. Educate me. Yes, Ed, I agree with you. Ed is for UT. It will be Milton's job to lose. 100%. 100%. Yeah, well. I don't remember. Ramander says Milton did not turn it over last night. I don't remember him turning it over. Danny, what turnover do you speak, sir? Hey, they're really working Squirrel White into this whole thing, aren't they? They're really giving him of course, Brew McCoy was out last night. I wonder what the story is on that. Now, my understanding is that Brew McCoy has one more year of eligibility. That's my understanding. I like that guy. I think he was been amazing right? I think he has helped this team a lot this year. And Hooker liked him a lot too. Now, let me just kind of recap here what I was thinking about last night's game. We saw everything. Last night, for me, as a Tennessee fan, was a perfect game. Not only the score, right? We blew them out. That's the way it should be with Tennessee and Vanderbilt. But we saw Milton dropping bombs. We saw Milton with some good intermediate level passes. We saw how many? 4 or 5 huge runs. Huge runs. Man, it was good to see Jabari get off. Right? Got 2 of them. And then, of course, Dylan, help me with his last name, Dylan 24, Sampson, had an 80-yard one. But you know what my favorite was last night? And I've been waiting for this all year. D. Williams and the punt return. And not only was the punt return awesome, but the fake hamstring pull into the little dance. Man, that was brilliant. It was brilliant. It's almost if he practiced it. That was so good. So good. By the way, if you haven't seen, I posted today a short little video of the big plays last night. It's fun to see those. Look at Remander bringing the statistics, man. That's the first punt return touchdown since 2019. I didn't realize that. Good for you. Thank you for that. Amazing. It was so good. It was so good. I could watch that over and over and over. And then the dude had the beautiful sense of humor enough to give me the faux hammy pull. So you can watch that. I posted a little big plays for the Vols up today. And Heupel's post-game comments, I posted that as well. And then I posted the video about Nico. So I'm going to thank you all. I'm going to relax now. It's been a long day for me. I wish you all well. I'm very excited. I will definitely keep you abreast on the whole recruiting situation now. Now I will go into recruiting mode until we know what the bowl is, and then I will go into that mode, and it's going to be fun. We're not done yet. We got a lot of recruiting to get done. It'll be, and it's just so good that they won this game. So perfect. 10-2, and we're going to be 11-1. I don't see anybody that's in our immediate vicinity that is going to beat us, or that is going to keep up with us offensively. Okay. All right, my friends. Thank you. Thank you for all the subscriptions. Appreciate you. And I'll see you next time. Go Big Orange.